Hi guys,
Hi.
Victoria here, and this is my friend Michele Muska.
Hi.
Hi. How are you guys today? We're great. We are getting all set up. We have Quilters Take Manhattan this weekend. Michele and I are both on the Quilt Alliance board, and we are so excited. It's going to be so much fun. My studio is clean. This is a rare occasion, right? Look at that. And a lovely double wedding ring sitting right here, which leads to you, right?
Right. And
guess what Michele has? Dun, 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 dun.
my new book, which is Quilting the New Classics, 20 Inspired Quilt Projects Traditional to Modern Designs.
It's fantastic. So she asked
Victoria's
me,
quilt right
that's
there.
right, there
on
it
the
is.
front.
Yes. So
And she gets it on the back too. So.
I must have to pay you for
No,
that.
you didn't. No, she didn't. She really didn't.
So tell me, what's the basic idea behind your book? What was the inspiration of things?
Well, the inspiration, I think, for me was several years, well, probably 5 or 6 years ago when I was at Quilt Market in Salt Lake City. It was kind of when everybody was talking about the modern quilt movement and traditional, and people were so far apart, and I started thinking about that and realizing that no, we aren't really so far apart. You know,
Right.
We're all really doing the same thing. We're making quilts. We're using cloth, usually using 3 layers. You know, with a filler and a backer and a front and a top of a quilt. And it just made me think about bringing the two genres a little bit closer together, and also even going back further in my research, which you'll see in each chapter, there's a touch-tone piece or a vintage or historic quilt that some of the older quilts really looked actually more contemporary than what we're seeing today. And maybe people are surprised at that. And I've seen those quilts before, but when I was really looking at them through an author's eyes, I realized that we're really not doing anything too new, that we're always draw from artist designs from the past. And I think that's what's really important. And bringing the two kind of genres together, which I think is really becoming less noticeable, the division. I think we're kind of seeing, you know, maybe modern quilters using some more traditional methods, and then traditional quilters are kind of getting out of the box a little bit, and maybe, you know, kind of using more solids and
or simplifying
their patterns, and you know,
work on enlarging, making
Right.
things bigger, and
and so I think
providing
there's
new
almost a
opportunities.
genre that's kind of in the middle as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
so I
that's
chose,
exciting.
yeah, I chose 10 patterns. 10 traditional patterns, and then
like what? What
okay,
kind of
so
patterns?
we have log cabin, double wedding ring,
Right.
which Victoria did, the modern version. Yo-yos, which I think I couldn't get anybody to really do a traditional yo-yo, so I took on
Yo-yos?
that because I love yo-yos.
Really?
Yeah,
You like yo-yos?
I do like yo-yos.
Here,
so.
let me just
Oh,
spice.
yeah.
Let me just
yes,
spice
yes,
up
please do,
this
please do.
conversation. Okay,
Can
you ready for it?
Can you get that on?
Oh, I think I
She just
can.
hurt her back, so.
Yeah, I'm having major muscle spasms in my back, but I can. Oh, there.
There
Speaking
you go.
of yo-yos,
Perfect.
sassy,
model.
huh?
Yeah. You look really cute in that.
Okay.
Now I'm
Okay,
supposed to
wear
be
it.
serious?
Okay.
While looking
Yes.
at you,
Okay.
right?
So yes, yo-yo.
Yeah.
Can I show them your yo-yo
Yes.
quilts in there?
Yes.
Because Michele made she has a modern and a traditional version of all of these patterns, and she did a modern version of a yo-yo quilt.
Well, actually, it's the
You think it-
traditional version.
It's the traditional version.
It is, and
Let me look at that again,
Right.
because I looked at that and I thought, wow, that's awesome.
that's the
very
modern
cool.
version.
I get it.
So what I did is I really looked a lot at, because I love yo-yos, and I looked a lot at yo-yo quilts. And what I realized, and when I did some research, is women started really doing yo-yos in the 30s and the 40s, and they were, you know, working more, they were out of the house more, and they needed something to, they still felt they needed to do some handwork, and they were taking yo-yos with them everywhere.
Right.
And to show off their handiwork, they would often put it on a solid background.
Ah.
So that's exactly what I did. Traditionally, they didn't quilt the back, but I Shelley Polly, I actually quilted the back for me in very simple waves. So really, it's actually an honor of the traditional yo-yo quilt makers, but because I chose all solids, which they often did, and they often did a pattern, usually not lines, but maybe 4 blocks. And I think
show them this
yeah,
picture?
and I think because they because I did it in 27 Kona solids, like gradiated colors, like automatically it looks very contemporary when it's really pretty traditional in a way. So
yeah, I totally get that.
yeah.
So you have also some traditional, well, vintage, really.
Vintage, yes.
I don't mean, you know, traditional, but this one was made by someone in your family.
Well,
right?
actually, that
Or
one,
friend?
my mom found it at a yard sale. It's
Okay.
king size. It has
Wow.
over 2,604 yo-yos. I counted them. I just recently washed it so I could put it in the picture in the book.
Wow.
And she found it in a garbage bag at a tag sale for $8. Yeah, so.
That's like one of those things you're always like, yeah, how come I never find those for $8?
I know.
Right?
So I brought it home and I was so excited and I put a colored sheet on my bed and I put it on my bed and it's a king size yo-yo quilt. And my husband like halfway through goes, the night he's like, get this thing off of me, I can't breathe. It was so heavy. It was like, so you know, I often put it on like outside for picnics and things like that. So
Yeah.
and Monica Snow, yeah, Happy Zombie. She did the modern yo-yo. So
And that is, I totally get it.
yeah, but I think that it kind of, when you look at the yo-yo chapter in particular, it kind of shows you maybe how close
Just how much
we really are. I think so. Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a really neat twist.
So there's a little bit of history in each chapter, a little bit of anecdotal history about the pattern itself, maybe where it came from, or what originated, who used to make them, why did they make that pattern, and then it goes into the traditional and the modern, and it's a how-to book, so it has projects, it has illustrations, it has templates in the back, templates. My friend Barb Cartier, she did a great job helping me tech edit the book. I couldn't have done that without her. And Victoria, she always would take my phone calls and pick me up when I was a little stressed out about it. But
how to get through doing a book.
Yeah, it was.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, it is. But now that it's here and it's so pretty, the book designer did such a lovely job.
You just want to hug it.
I do. And I'm a bit.
Smell that new book smell.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm excited about is I tell everybody, and the most important part, which is really kind of silly, but I love that there's a little.
There's you.
That's me. So
I knew you did it.
It really does prove but I did have a lot of help. I have people that were contributors. Someone helped me contribute regarding fabric and batting and labeling and things like that. It's something that I couldn't totally have done on my own, obviously. And there's 20 quilters, including myself, and I invited all of them to join me, and they all nicely said yes, which was really great. Which is a labor of love and friendship, and I really appreciate it. And very
happy
excited.
to contribute.
Yes.
I'm always happy to make no double wedding ring.
Yes. So and this is.
This was probably number 20, I think, on the way. You're like, I need a double wedding ring.
I was like, well, who else would I ask? I mean, seriously, like if I had asked someone else,
right?
It just wouldn't seem right.
So this was the modern version for the double wedding ring, and I was really looking at using fabrics. This is just a standard chevron modern fabric to drop into those negative spaces. I actually dropped in some cherry wood fabrics because I love using those, and I like how that kind of plays on it's not your modern solid, but it's definitely that hand dye feel that gives it just a little bit different texture, which I really like. And I gotta add polka dot no matter what. But one way to modernize it was just dealing with my corners, adding a little different element there. Who's calling me, do we think? My phone's ringing. Let me see if I can make that stop. Oh, I might not be able to, but that's okay. Yeah, so I had a really great time playing with this and making this specifically for the book. Trying to figure out how else can you really use the modern fabrics. So I really think that's the difference.
Right.
Only difference.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right, because
the palette and the prints and the things that we're using,
and the shapes, the templates, they're all the same.
They're all pretty much the same. And
one of the things that I thought was really important is I didn't really give anybody restrictions. Just when they said they would be happy to do their pattern, which I tried to find people that maybe that was their maybe favorite one or that they really like to do. So I gave them a lot of leeway. I just said, just remember, we have to write the instructions, and we have to have them tech edited, and they have to fit in one book altogether. So, don't make it too complicated. But I think that there's a wide variety. So I think it's for beginners as well as to more intermediate or advanced quilters as well. So,
well, I think it's very exciting. I love the mixture. And being able to have that influence to look at all of those from traditional
here,
to modern to anything in between, that whatever kind of quilter that you are, you can find inspiration just by looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant. I'm so glad that you did
Thank
it.
you.
Yay.
Thank you for being part of it. So.
Way to go. It's a love fest over
Yay.
here. Yay! But, all right. So, thanks, Michelle, for coming.
Well, thanks for doing this little video.
You betcha.
In the comfy space of your own little studio, so it's nicer that
Yeah. So, we are going to continue to get ready for Quilters Take Manhattan. There'll be lots of pictures coming this weekend. And this is supposed to be a mess on Sunday after the party on Saturday night. But it'll be a good time.
Yep.
So, if you guys are coming to Quilters Take Manhattan, you'll be able to do some book signings. Most of us who have books that are on the board, and Roderick, who was on my blog the other day, all of them are going to be there for book signings. So there'll be a lot of goodies. We hope you can come. And if not, plan for next year. We got some good stuff coming for next year, too, with the Quilt Alliance. So, and our contest quilts for next year.
Oh, yes.
Right? The animal theme was it?
Yes.
Yep. Favorite pets? What was the name of the theme?
I have to look it up. Goodness,
I just thought of it now off the top of my head. But our contest
love of
quilts, yes, for love of animals for next year. Make a quilt. Very cool. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.